Today, we take a deep dive into just how expensive gaming is getting. From Grand Theft Auto 6 to the Steam Machine to Nintendo's own premium price tags, we break it all down on this episode of Podcasting with Power. Welcome to Podcasting with Power, your weekly source for Nintendo and video game news, reviews, and deep dive discussions. I'm Zachary Davis, and that's Jordan Carlson. And if you like what we do here, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, and follow us on social media at Pod with Power. All of the links you need are in the show description. Now, Jordan, we have been gaming for as long as we can remember. It's probably my favorite hobby. I imagine it's up there for you as well. But one of the things we don't love about that hobby is how expensive it can be.
Yes.
And it's always been that way, right? As long as I can remember, it was a big deal when you got a new game or a new accessory or hardware. And then as we start making our own money and you kind of realize, oh, wow, this is what this costs. Like, you know, that, yeah. But we have now gotten to a place where it feels like that gap is kind of widening more than ever. I feel that for sure when I buy new gaming related stuff. Do you kind of agree there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's, you know, we are, I think, both pretty fortunate that we can do this and we can, you know, podcast about it and we can buy our little toys and whatever we want to do. But there is no denying that it's getting way more expensive than it used to be, right? And it feels like just lately there have been a lot of dominoes in particular that have fallen that it's like, we're going down a expensive slide right now, right? and that's kind of why I felt like this was the time to do a topic like this. We actually did, one of our first topics of the show was about the value of games. Do you remember doing that one?
I do remember that.
And I feel like some of that's going to come up here for sure.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like this is a different conversation because this is less about the content, I think, and more just about like the dollars and cents of it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, let's kind of start knocking through these things that are happening. So, as we have reported here, in September, Switch 2 is getting a price increase, right? It's going up to $499.99 from its $449 price tag. Within the last year, we've seen the Switch 1, PS5, and Xbox Series all get price increases. The Switch 1, which that's crazy. That came out in 2017, and you're telling me you're going to charge me $339 for it now. That's wild in and of itself. And then we've got the other models. A PS5 Pro right now will cost you $900. That's crazy. And then
that is crazy.
You won't believe this. So you have the doc here and the notes I took. So I wrote down what the current prices were for the Xbox this morning. Okay. Then I look at my phone and I see that they have increased prices again. So I had to go back and change my notes because today they updated a couple of things. So their 512 gigabyte models are going up by $100. Their 1 terabyte models are going up by $150. And the 2 terabyte models, they're just going away. Microsoft can't sell those anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's gone. So, which, I mean, that was pretty expensive. I think that was getting up to like $700, I think, previously. So now for a Series S, a 512 gigabyte unit is $500. I'll remind you, that's the price of the Series X back in 2020 when it came out in the PS5. A 1 terabyte Series S will cost you $600. A digital 1 terabyte Series X will cost you $750. And a 1 terabyte Series X with the disk drive will cost you $800 smackaroos. Now, we've got our consoles all set, and now I feel like I got to hang on to them forever, too.
I mean, yeah, kinda. I mean, we kind of already do, I think, both of us, but yeah.
But like, I have 2 Series X's, and I feel like
You have 2 Series X's?
I do. I have one down here in my office, and I have one upstairs in the living room.
All right.
Well, because, I mean, I figure if I'm going to have 2 of something, I've got Game Pass. I set it up, so that's up there. So if Kali wants to play a game up there, all the Game Pass stuff is there. All my stuff I bought over the years, she had a 360 and a bunch of 360 games before. So like, I figured that was the best one for us to double dip on.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, I'm sitting on a gold mine here. Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of the stuff that I put together here to talk about today. We'll dive back more even than these. And yeah, man, I feel a little bummed out, honestly, just thinking about some of the consoles that I've let go over the years. Because I was saying you and I tend to hang on to them, but there have been some that I've let go of. And,
Same, yeah.
And that bums me out a little bit. Like, my 360, I don't have that anymore. Yeah. And that was one of my most played consoles. So kind of bums me out to have parted ways with something like that,
It's interesting that you bring those up, because I almost wonder if, because these are shooting up so much, and like I said, I mean, this is, I think, the third time the Xboxes have gone up. I'm not exactly sure on that, but do you think there's going to be a resurgence of people, going to their local shops and picking up Xbox Ones and 360s and, just kind of going like, I don't need this thing. Like
I do, but not yet.
Okay.
I think that will happen in 10 to 12 years.
Okay. Because I mean, that's a pretty big gulf, right? If I'm looking at I want an Xbox, or my kid wants an Xbox, and I can buy one for $800, or I can go get you a 360 and a ton of games for, I don't know, 150 or something, right?
Yeah, no, I know. And it's crazy too, because I want to say, I don't know, like 9 years ago, maybe not quite 10 years ago, stores were just kind of dabbling with having what they called retro consoles back in stock again. Like GameStop, I remember that's when they started doing that again.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot more of that now. Like, it's much more common to see that now. And I'm not talking about just Nintendo, but everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be, before we open up the show, I was telling you about how I'm just wowed because I have my nephew's graduation party tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who was, on Saturday. And, I was 16 when he was born. So, wow.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking to myself, I remember being his age, and I remember when we were graduating, I remember gravitating. I mean, we always gravitated back towards old Nintendo, but I remember specifically when we were graduating, a lot of people doing it, going back to Game Boy Color and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking about him a little bit, and I'm like, he, like everybody, all of us in his family, are big gamers. So I have a feeling in like 10 years, he's going to want to circle back on some of these older games that aren't maybe supported anymore, or you can't find. They weren't as popular, stuff that he liked.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to go back, and then we're going to have that resurgence of people looking for those games that they don't get to play anymore.
So what is his N64? Is it like a Xbox 360, or is it even like an Xbox One?
Dude, it's an Xbox One. Yeah, I would have to say, because the 360, I mean, we played like that. We were still.
Yeah, you're right. By the time he was 3 or 4, it was probably Xbox One.
I mean, which is pretty bonkers, because like that console dominated for not just the Xbox One, but that generation of console just dominated for so long, Yeah. It wasn't like what we had, where we were like every 3 or 4 years we had this new thing,
Yeah, and so that's actually something I wanted to bring up. So these price increases, as much as these companies would love to charge us more, I think, there's a lot going on with global trade in general that's kind of affecting these prices. The price of components in particular, like memory, is a big deal and a big problem that is causing these sharp increases like this. Because again, we've never, in our lifetimes, consoles have never gone up. They go down. I mean, we got to a point where the GameCube was $100, right? New.
Yeah.
From Nintendo. And so the idea that you're going to release a console and then 6 years later, that console is going to cost $300 more than it did when it came out is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, you mentioned that last generation was particularly long, And it was from like the Xbox One and PS4 came out in 2013. Their successors both came out in 2020. Now we are at 2026. So next year will be that same gap. Do you think that we're going to get, here's my 2-part question. Are we going to get a PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox next year? So 7 years after the previous ones. Or do you think this generation is going to be even longer?
I mean, we are on the precipice of the next gen, and we know that.
I'm not so sure anymore.
Dude, I think we do. I think we know it. I think next year I do. If not maybe not released.
Okay.
But announced. It has to be, So
yeah.
I have to imagine. I don't know. I don't see it any other way, to be honest with you. I feel like we have to.
I think the plan probably was for both PlayStation and Xbox to do something next year, but I don't know. With the way things are, the way they are having to adjust their prices with their current hardware right now, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And even if they do, what is that going to cost? The whole point of a console is that it's supposed to be an inexpensive price point to get kind of a plug and play box into your home, and you just buy the software you want for it, and then you're done. Like, it's supposed to be easy, and it's supposed to be affordable. And they still got the easy part down, but it's no longer affordable like it was.
No. Well, it's because of all these operating systems and all the things that people expect now for it to take on. If we could kind of move backwards, and I'm on this bandwagon, I'm fully for this, regardless of whatever I've said about like wishing my Nintendo Switch had YouTube on it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Because the Switch 2 still doesn't, which is crazy. But
yeah.
But I mean, if we can move back to a direction where we're not expecting all of these functions, or if we could just dial this thing down to where it doesn't need to have so much. It doesn't need to have so much. We can make it a little more simple, I think that could be the move. I think the craziest. What's that?
Go ahead.
And let me know if I'm moving this in too far in a different direction. Let me know. But like the thing that I think is the most wild, and I was thinking about this a lot today. I did my speed mow over my lunch break today.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just churning this in my head, and I could not stop thinking about it. Nintendo and the Switch. I think the Switch particularly, because this doesn't apply to things like the GameCube, because those did come in different packages. But when I think about the Switch, I just think of all the things that are necessary that I buy at the same time of the Switch and how expensive it makes it, So it's like, Switch 2 launch day, Switch 1 launch day, we both went crazy and spent a lot of money because we're like, I need this version. I want these amiibo. I need the controller. I need, like the collector's edition Zelda and the Mario Kart wheels, But like the Switch 2 is no different. I mean, maybe we went a little less crazy, but I went in there going Switch 2 Pro controller, Switch 2. Obviously I got Mario Kart World with it. I'm thinking about the webcam, some of the amiibo, like same thing,
The micro SD Express, which is a new format. So I didn't have any of those. I doubt you did either. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. They need special requirement. And then you think about, and I'm not going back to the Xbox. I kind of want to stay on the Nintendo, but Xbox and Sony, they did the special, what was it? The USB drive, not the external storage. You couldn't use just any.
Yeah. Xbox has like a proprietary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought one for my brother for Christmas one year.
Just those kind of things, but like Nintendo's far worse though these days.
Because you're right. I felt like I was pretty conservative with it with the Switch 2, but you're right. I bought a case. I bought a Pro controller. I bought that card. I bought screen protectors. Like
screen protector because it's the hybrid handheld, which like I know we're kind of in a corner with it because like, what do you expect? It's a hybrid handheld. That's just the nature of it. I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
But you're still spending fucking $500 some dollars, and then the screen protector and the case. You're not usually buying a case for your console, And the Switch 2, because of the handheld, like I'm not playing with my Joy-Con. I want a controller.
Yeah.
So now I got to spend another $100, you know?
And think about it. We are individual adults. If you are buying this for your children, you're buying 2, 3, 4 controllers, right?
Oh,
like
my goodness.
for whatever, any of these consoles. Like, yeah. And then, I have some other things here. Like you get into the subscription part of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
We both have Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions. They're obviously Game Pass is a huge one, PlayStation Plus. And there are lots. I've talked. I had a Fortnite subscription for crying out loud for a while. Like they're really trying to get you and lock you in. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That's a really good point. That it is. I think it's easy to just go, okay, the console is this, the game I want is this. I'm good. And it's like, no, you're not. Like,
no,
we're definitely going to talk about Grand Theft Auto, but one of the things they did recently is for anybody that owned the game Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, they have granted current gen upgrades for. So PS5 and Series X. So for free. And I think the idea is that Rockstar really wants to push you to be like, okay, I should get the next thing. If I still haven't bought a PlayStation 5 and Xbox at this point, I do want one for 6. Maybe I should do that. And this is the kind of game people will buy new consoles for. People will buy new TVs for this kind of game, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing that you got to think about. Your TV, your sound system, all that stuff, headsets. There's really a lot that goes into gaming. It's pretty crazy.
You're telling me when my sound bar got fried in that one episode when the power went out?
Yeah.
Felt that.
Yeah. Have you replaced that? Is that
I end up upgrading, of course. Because I'm like, well, there's never a better time. And I got the Kanto Aura 4 speakers, which I love. But that was money I didn't have to spend, but did.
Yeah.
Well, I had to spend, but whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get it. Is there a particular piece of kind of this puzzle here that you don't like spending money on? It's not even the amount. It's just that you're like, it's stupid that I have to spend money on this.
External storage makes me feel that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it's for. I mean, again, I know I'm focusing on Switch 2, which is actually a thing I need. I need one of those SDs. I do,
Do you have one, or do you just use the internal?
No, internal storage only. Yeah.
Well, I would recommend that you try to find one quickly.
Yeah, I know.
They have steadily gone up since they came out. Since the Switch 2 came out, rather. I'm looking at the 512 gigabyte card at Best Buy. It's $200.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I spent somewhere between like 60 and 80 on it a year ago.
I typically buy all of my memory on Black Friday.
Okay.
Last year I bought like 4 2 terabyte SD cards. One of them, not the Switch one, because I was like, I don't need it. It's fine. Yeah.
I will tip for you. Costco has a terabyte card for its 180, but compared to everybody else, it's almost half of what a 1 terabyte card would cost you anywhere else.
Not to deviate from the Nintendo podcast, but I've been thinking about a Costco membership. So
okay. I don't feel like I use it as much as a lot of people, and I still feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
I do.
I want one. I follow all the Instagram pages that are like new deals at Costco, and you see all the cool shit they've got.
Yeah. I just like walking through there and seeing stuff. And then at the end, they've got that little, you can get yourself a hot dog and a soda, and it's $1.50. Or the chicken bake. We're big fans of the chicken bake. You're aware of this?
Okay.
I've never had that. Okay. Well, it's kind of like a big Hot Pocket, right? But it is their rotisserie chicken. It's like Caesar dressing in there and some cheese. And it is, it's good.
Just Googled it.
Yeah. It's tasty.
Oh my God. Dude. A hot Saturday, a little Costco.
Yeah.
A little hot dog. Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, we're feeling these price increases in other. Costco had me thinking about Apple, and so I'll connect the dots in a second. So like all of these price increases are not exclusive to video games, right? They're kind of touching everything, but in tech in particular, like Apple, when we're recording this, just announced today, everything's going up. iPads, Macs, HomePod. Like it's all going up. I just bought a MacBook Pro 2 weeks ago, and I'm really glad I did, because it would have cost me between $300 and $400 more if I bought it today, right now.
That's another thing. Again, not to keep going on this, but nephew again goes, "Hey, I want a gaming laptop. What do you recommend?" So I'm looking, and I had bought a Legion something Pro, whatever, a couple years back, and I spent probably like 22 on the highest end model, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like looking at it, I'm like 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah.
Insanity. You know?
I bought my graphics card here in 2021. It's an RTX 3070, nothing crazy. But I still see that card on Marketplace, on even new on websites, and it's essentially the same price. It's not that much lower than what I paid for it.
Wow.
5 years ago. And if I wanted something new, I mean, that's just out of the question, right? Like that's crazy. That's one of the things we want to build a PC for Kali. And it's like, you know, she looks at that number and she's like, I'm not going to use it the way even like we use it. Right.
Yeah.
But she's like, I can't justify that to play Jurassic World Evolution 3. Like I can't buy $2,000 graphics card. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad that I got my newer graphics card closer to when it came out. Thank God, you know?
Yeah. So I will say, like, there are places where you can find deals on tech. Costco is a great one. Micro Center, which you mentioned, is a great one. Newegg, things like that. But
yeah, Micro Center.
Sometimes certain things.
Been getting burned, man.
Really?
Yeah, they actually denied me a price match not too long ago. And it was a brick and mortar price match. They were like, no. I was like, no. I was like, I guess I'll go across the street.
Yeah.
So I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Take that information, viewers. But anyway, we're on the topic of PCs. So I feel like this is a great time to kind of talk about the elephant in the room here. Right? Yeah. So the Steam Machine was announced sometime last fall, right?
Yes.
From Valve. They're kind of, again, a console-like solution. It's a plug-and-play PC. It'll just work. It'll just run your games. It's small. It won't take up a ton of space. And this is not the first time they've tried something like this, but this is, I think, the most serious attempt where they really, you know, they showed the box then. No price, though, back then. And so we've been kind of waiting. What will that thing be? And then as other things have gone up, it's been like, I don't know what it's going to come in at. So we finally have those numbers. So let's start with the 512 gigabyte version, which does not include a controller. This has a custom AMD Zen 4, a custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and with 8 gigs VRAM. I mentioned the 512 storage, and then, you know, all that other stuff. So it is $1,049. No controller. Yeah. But you get a little box. With the controller, that'll run you $1,128. Then we jump up to the 2 terabyte model. So all of the specs are the same otherwise. It's just the storage here. The 2 terabyte model will run you $1,349. And with that controller, $1,428. So what was meant to be, in my opinion, kind of an entry level, someone who has maybe always played on consoles and it's like, I see my friends playing on PC. That's cool. Maybe I want to try that, but I don't want to build it. I don't want to go crazy.
Yeah.
And now they see this.
Dude, how about I just want to play with my friends? You know? Yeah. Not even like I'm trying to get into PCs. Just like my friends all play on PC and I'd love to join them, but I love consoles.
Minimum $1,000.
Crazy.
Before your controller, even. Before any games, before any of the other accessories we're talking about.
That's what gets me. Because like I'm not even you can do it. We have so many controllers. Yeah, I can plug in any of my 8BitDo controllers with the 2.4. You know, and I'm good. But like, I want the little mouse pads though on the controller so I can navigate the OS a little better.
Yep.
$1,000. Like, I don't remember if I was saying this to you or somebody else because I know we talked about it, but like, Amanda and I have been toasted on this thing. Like, we're very excited because she loves Hogwarts and she's playing more games. And I play on PC. So it's a way for her to play. Like she likes to mess around with mods. She's beaten Hogwarts Legacy like 3 or 4. I've mentioned this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
But she's playing with mods now and it's fun. So she wants to play on Steam.
Okay.
And it's like, we thought this was going to be the solution for the living room instead of building a PC to go out there. And, we were like, how much will we spend on this thing? I was like, probably spend $700 and hate myself for it, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then they announced the cost. She comes home and I'm like, hey, they announced the Steam Machine cost. She's like, how much is it? Like fucking $1,100. And it's like, I can't even, I can't, with what it's offering fidelity wise, I can't entertain it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And it's not even so much like what the device is, because you look at it and you see those specs, and I think for either of us, we kind of look at them and we go, okay, like it's, it's less RAM than what I have, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like you can play modern games on this, no problem. Right?
Sure.
And they're going to certify the games just like they do on Steam Deck. They do a great job of that, making sure that this game will run well on my Steam Deck. It will run well on my Steam machine. But like I just pulled up a Reddit post here that compares the Steam machine with a custom build that someone did on PC Part Picker, and their PC that they built, which obviously is not going to have that same small form factor. That's kind of the big difference. But theirs came out to $961, which almost $100 gulf there, but it's not maybe as huge as you would think. I think unfortunately, like this is kind of where we're at. And this is what we're talking about. It's not so much that what you're getting with the box isn't worth it. It's that we have just ballooned the price up to a point where it is hard to justify. In my head, spending $1,000 on a gaming PC means I'm getting something top of the line, right? And we're just not there anymore.
Yeah.
We haven't been there for a while, but
no, right now, if you want to build a top of the line PC, you're spending $3,000 plus,
Yeah. Easy.
Easy. And I'm including monitor in that also, but
sure. Yeah.
Actually, maybe not actually.
Yeah. It depends. Some monitors are creeping up there too.
Yeah. But it's just tough, man. I don't know. I'm not sure that I think that that's the price point, I have a laptop that it's a 4080, I think, in the laptop.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
And I mean, it'll play, but like sometimes it struggles, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and I just don't see this outperforming that. So I'm just thinking I'm going to spend all this money for this new thing that still struggles as much as my laptop. I'd rather just dock my laptop like I am,
Right. So they have come out and said that the price increase that we saw with the Steam Deck, and we did a story about that and kind of comparing it to the Switch, that it was a similar increase internally with this machine here, meaning that this probably would have been closer to like $750, that lowest model, right? Does that number make a lot more sense to you? Because at $750, I understand the thought process. I understand how I could recommend that to somebody who's asking me what I should buy. I could at least look at the Steam machine for them,
100%. That would be, I think that's exactly what I said in my story with Amanda. Like I was like, I'll hate myself, but I'll spend the $700 on it. Like it's okay. It's just now that we're creeping over $1,000, especially without a controller, I'm like, what are we doing? Oh my God,
So let's take this and then let's go back to consoles for a second. So when we do get that next PlayStation, that next Xbox, which could be next year, could be 2028, I have to imagine spec-wise, they're close to this, which means I have to imagine price-wise, they're close to this.
Do you think the Xbox is the same? You think it would be the same?
I think this is what they'd be aiming for. Yeah, I think 16 gigabytes of RAM, I think, is what they... Because I think the current consoles, I think, have 8, right?
I'm trying to find out here. Let's see.
Oh, this says the Series X has 16. Yeah.
I'm talking, that's wild. That's why I just feel weird about it, But
the idea of going to a local store, going to a Best Buy and seeing the base edition of a console being $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unrealistic to think that that's what we're going to see within the next year or two.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, because as we compare it to the Series X, we're also thinking about what we paid for the Series X when it came out.
Yeah.
Or not for me when it came out. I have a Series S, but
Sure.
when the X came out, we obviously spent substantially less money on the consoles at that
Yeah.
time. So of course it's a harsh comparison, but
Yeah,
But
I mean, I
man,
mentioned the PS5 Pro being $900. Like, if you're Sony,
True.
you've got to position your next box as better than that thing, which means you probably have to price it higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Because the thing is that like performance aside, because I am skeptical, I love it. I want it. I want this so bad. You know, this
Yeah.
is the step in the direction that I think everything's headed in. This is kind of what we thought Xbox was going to do a while ago. You know?
Yeah. And now I'm not so sure with all the changes they're making, but
Right.
maybe. But you're right. Like something like this, a box that functionally is a PC, but behaves like a console, sits on your, entertainment center like a console.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how viable. That's my thing. Is I can't wait to see how viable the Steam Machine is at this price.
Yeah.
Is
Hey,
it
wait,
going to take over after the initial rush of people trying to pre-order the thing? Like, how many units does this sell?
Did you jump on the list?
No. I have no
Is it-
interest in this thing.
I'm on the list.
Okay,
I'm
All
on the list.
you're on the list.
Yeah, we'll see. I want the controller though. I want the controller bad. I will say that.
Well, you can just get the controller. You don't need.
I could. I'm on the list for that too. But like, I just love because right now I told you I dock my laptop out in the living room. I want the mouse pads on that thing. I hate having my mouse
Sure.
out there. It's annoying.
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't know. I feel like we've talked a lot about hardware. And obviously that I think has been the biggest kind of discussion over the last year about video game pricing.
Mhm.
I don't really remember what our speculation was for the Switch 2. I feel like I kind of felt like it was going to be 500.
I don't
Like,
think we were surprised, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I don't think we were surprised. Because we spent $3 on the Switch for the console.
Yeah.
And then Switch to $550 for the bundle.
450.
For the bundle.
450.
$450. Oh
Yeah.
God, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
that's better. $450. But you know what I did do? And I'm not sure if you did anything like this too, but did you perchance look up the release prices of historical Nintendo consoles?
No, because I knew you would. So I didn't want to do that. I started to, and I was like, no, I'll do this research. I know Jordan's going to look that up. So I did not do that. I looked up some old prices for games, which we'll talk about. But if you've got hardware there, do you have them in their original dollars or do you have them adjusted for today?
I have launch prices and then I have the inflation costs,
Okay,
which
cool.
I think are right. I'm going to be honest with you. I just plugged them in Google and whatever that
Okay.
search
probably-
gave me back.
Probably okay.
Yeah, well, if anything sounds weird, we'll dive into it. But so I'm showing the NES at $200, $199.
Okay.
Is what I have. Do you have any idea what that looks like? Let's see. I should have put the year down. I can't remember the year that the NES came out.
85.
1983. Oh,
85
Famicom.
Yeah, Famicom.
Gotcha. Yeah, so 1985, 199 price point. Any idea what that might look like today?
I mean, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I feel like it's probably in the 350-ish range.
587.
587.
587.
Which feels really high. And I guess at that time
Does.
would have felt very high. But
Mhm.
then again, you compare it to the consoles of now.
Mhm.
And most of those price points I read are, the Series S, the 512 Series S is $500.
Yeah.
You know?
It's pretty crazy. The thing about it too is an NES right now, like if I Google like used NES, and it, of course Google's like Nespresso machine. I want to say like usually about $80.
I was gonna say, I bet I
$100,
could get one for under
$90.
100.
Yeah. So around 100, which to be honest with you, I feel like is where most of them float. Like a GameCube, I can confidently say is like 110.
Yeah.
typically.
Do you remember when they weren't though? When we were probably still in high
Yes.
school, I bought my NES for $20.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yep.
I mean, the NES, it's a piece of history. So having one is really nice. It's hard to imagine to stomach $100 on one. It
Yeah.
is, you know, but thankfully I have one. But in any case, $100, you know.
Yeah.
Like we said, the GameCube, you're spending like 110. But like, if you're into games and you collect, like that's something that you do. You want to play things on original hardware. So
Yeah.
I mean, like this kind of, it falls right where we're talking about the Steam Machine, all the Switch 2. If you want a GameCube, you got to pay money for it. And then not to mention, if you want to play a game that is not just hard to find, but rare in itself, and you got to pay the money for it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much some of those games can climb up to, you know?
Yeah. So I have a question. You have those prices there, and the NES
Yeah,
was
yeah.
positioned as a set top box and kind of a more expensive thing. How about something like the Game Boy, which was positioned more as a toy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And meant for children, but like, you know, obviously went beyond that. I feel like that relative to the Switch and Switch 2 is going to be very different. Because I don't think Nintendo positions, especially the Switch 2, I don't think they position as just a toy, buy each of your kids one of these, the way they did with the Game Boy.
So do you know the cost of the Game Boy in 89? What it ran for?
I want to say it was it 99 or was it 89? 99.
It was 89.95.
Oh, 95. Okay. Sure.
So let's see. I actually didn't have that on my list, so I'm doing this as we go here.
Okay.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
$235.
Okay.
That's wild, man. Absolutely wild.
But again, like when you compare that number to I'm buying my kid a Game Boy and spending that equivalent versus I'm buying my kid a Switch 2 and spending twice that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, when you think about what's interesting about this, and I cannot stop, and this is going to make it worse because I'm saying it right by my phone, but the Mod Retro Chromatic, you've probably seen around online.
I think so. Yeah.
It's just shoved in my face constantly. I don't know
Sure.
why, but they keep shoving it down my throat so much so that like I want to see one in person really bad. But
Okay.
anyway, that runs for $200. So it's like when you think about it, it's not far off of
No.
that cost,
Yeah, you're right.
you know? And I mean, that thing is like fucking magnesium, you know? So like,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay. So
not made of the
that's
same.
interesting. Like, are there any other prices on that chart that you find particularly?
Yeah. No,
Worth pointing out?
the Super Nintendo, which ran at the same launch price of $199, but of course a different year. That was in the 463 benchmark there for inflation. But the one that I thought was most interesting because it actually went down a little bit was in 96 with the N64, which also launched for $199.
Okay.
Today that's about $400, so down from 463 with the SNES.
And like that's such an interesting, because like at that point, like you weren't getting anything that could look like that in your home. So
Yeah.
that like that's what we have to think about, right? When we're comparing the Game Boy to the Switch 2, obviously very different devices, but like the novelty of it is the same. I can play games on the go. The N64 though, at that time was such a different, like, you know, the other consoles weren't pumping out graphics that looked like that. Maybe close to it, but not like that. So, I mean, that's kind of impressive to think I could spend $400 and get something in my home that looks different than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, especially like, of course, in the 90s, the whole see-through thing was just blowing up, and that
Sure,
was cool. Yeah. But I mean, like, most of these consoles weren't going in people's bedrooms. I mean, some of us were maybe fortunate enough in the 2000s, like once it, 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
We started to see those probably in the bedrooms. But like for me personally, we grew up with that thing originally in the living room, and then strangely in my parents' bedroom. Like we had to go to my parents' room to play the N64. I feel like they were like guarding that thing.
Sure.
Yeah. But it was always somewhere that it wasn't somewhere where any of the three of us, me and my two sisters, could get to it and hog it. It was always in like a central location. So like, Yeah, if you got your living room, you got your see-through green N64 just under the TV. You know?
Yeah.
Just insanity, you know. But I think for all the consoles, I think those were the most interesting. Yeah, those were probably the most interesting ones. The Game Boy was pretty good though. 235 is pretty insane, but it makes sense, you know.
So okay, yeah. So that's really good insight. I appreciate you looking that up. I wanted to point out. I want to flip over to the software side for a bit. And so I have, when we were kids, prior to that, like cartridge games did fluctuate. You know, your NES or your Super Nintendo games were going to be anywhere between 50 to, you get to stuff like Earthbound, which is like $100, right? Which is crazy to think at the time. But, and there was some of that with the N64, but they kind of standardized it by the time we were becoming teenagers. So like the GameCube, PS2, Xbox generation was pretty standardized at like $50 was the price of a new game. And then in the HD generation, that went up to 60 for the 360 and the PS3. The Wii U would be the first Nintendo console to do that. And then the current generation was $70. The PS5, the Xbox Series, and now the Switch 2. So recently, we talked about Nintendo's change that their physical games were going to go up $10. At the time, we weren't actually sure what that meant. Did it mean that physical was going up? Did it mean digital was going down? Like, what was the difference? But turns out they meant that physical was going up by $10. And up until this point, we've only seen it with, I don't want to call them budget games, but you know what I mean? Things that aren't quite that full price point, like Yoshi, Star Fox, Splatoon. But we now have confirmed that Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave will be $70 in the eShop, but it will be $80 retail, right? It's the first full price Nintendo game to do that. Mario Kart World, of course, launched with the Switch 2 at $80, both physical and digital. So it was the first modern game to launch at 80. And at the time, we talked about that. And I think it kind of softened the blow because they bundled it with the Switch 2, which is how both of us got that game.
Yeah.
Looking back now, if it didn't come with your Switch, would you pay $80 for Mario Kart World?
Yeah, I would.
I don't know if I would.
No, really?
I don't know. Looking back, having hindsight, having played it and not touched it now in months, I don't know that I would.
No, I feel like I have to get that experience like when it comes out. I have to have had my hands on Mario Kart at some point, unfortunately. And that's how they get you. I know I'm just, I got had, but like, I do feel like I have to experience it and try it for myself. I wouldn't know otherwise. So I would pay the money,
Okay. So Nintendo has had a game sitting on store shelves at $80 for a year now. They're about to have another one with Fire Emblem. And this week, Grand Theft Auto announced, hey, we're going to open, or last week rather, we're going to open pre-orders. Here's the date. And we all kind of realized, okay, that means we're going to see the price, which has been something we've speculated about for a while. Will GTA launch at $70 like other games? Will it launch at $100? Because if anyone can do it, it's probably them, right? And we got the news this week that it will launch a standard edition at $80 and an ultimate edition at $100. Now, the ultimate edition does come with a bunch of mostly cosmetic stuff that it's like cosmetics and then places you can go on the map that are exclusive to that edition. And I'm seeing a lot of people already going, well, that's the real version. They're holding back. They're locking all this stuff behind the ultimate. You're nodding your head. Do you feel like they're kind of telling you can get it for 80, but really you need to spend 100 to get the full experience?
I mean, kind of. Like, how do does it make sense? That's the thing. Like, are these areas like, is this like a VIP? Are you a VIP of some kind? So you have, like, I'm curious what the areas of the map are.
So they've outlined them, and I know off the top of my head, some of them it's like an exclusive tattoo shop. It's an exclusive body shop for your car. Fashion stores, things like that. And I imagine that the difference is that tattoo shop might have designs you can only get there, right?
Yeah.
And the other rest of the game, you can get other things, but unless you buy this edition for $20 more, you're not getting that tattoo that someone else might get, for example.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
For me, I look at that and I go, okay, like, I don't know. I might buy the Ultimate Edition. I love Grand Theft Auto. But I don't feel forced to do it.
Okay.
But I know a lot of people do, and I'm hearing plenty of that on the internet. I understand that.
I do.
But I do think we need to kind of see how that's implemented, because I'm just speculating. I don't necessarily know.
You know, what bothers me is when games will do something like this, and let's say you paid $100 for the ultimate version and you get the cool thing, whatever it is on you. And the people who didn't pay for it, they can't see it. It all looks just like one thing because they didn't pay for it. It's cooler when you can see what they paid for, but you can't have it. That's better.
Yeah.
You know? Because sometimes we'll do it with skins. I don't have a good example of a game. It might have been like Call of Duty. I don't know, but
sure.
Where if you don't pay for that skin, I just see like it looks like everyone's the stock skin or something, but really they're all somebody special that you know they paid for. I would imagine with Grand Theft Auto, that's not going to be the case. You'll see the cool thing and you just don't have it.
Well, and I want to point out, this is single player. Grand Theft Auto, they've said, is a single player experience. So whatever they're doing with online is separate from all the content in this edition.
That's crazy. My mind immediately goes to online now for Grand Theft Auto.
Well, and I think when you think of cosmetics, for spending money, real money on cosmetics, you think of online. Because you're right, you want people to see them.
Right.
This stuff is for a single player game. That's part of why I don't feel like I need it.
In that case, then I kind of don't feel that way either. I do. If the places, if the locations were not just a shop, then I would. But if it's just a shop, I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it all actually is, and like, because I keep seeing that too. People are being like, it's a lot of content to lock behind the Ultimate Edition. Yeah. Well, if it's a lot of content, the difference is $20. So if you feel like it's a lot of content, do you feel like it's $20 worth of content? Because I don't know, maybe it is. Right. But the reason I bring up Grand Theft Auto, which of course is not coming out on Switch 2, at least not yet, is because it's the first thing since Mario Kart World to launch at $80 standard across the board, digital and physical, since then. And Grand Theft Auto, we know, can do it. Yeah. GTA 5 still is a massive seller somehow. Has set tons of records. I think GTA 6 is going to set even more. The scary part is what other games can do this.
Well, I think we know one.
Do we? Well, I'm curious. I'm asking you because
Ocarina, more than likely.
Yeah, so that's a question. Will Ocarina come in like Fire Emblem, where it's 70 digital, 80 physical, or will it start at 80?
I think it's going to start at 80. 80 physical. Or wait, 70, 80 physical, 70 digital. Is that what it was?
That's how Fire Emblem is. Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know.
I think if there's anything in Nintendo's portfolio that they feel like they could charge $80 for base, I do think it's this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably. They know they're going to get it. It's so obnoxious though, but yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I look at it though, because I think that's a great example. And I think there's some other, when the next Elder Scrolls comes out, I think that could do it. I think, God of War, I think whether it's Last of Us or Intergalactic from Naughty Dog, like there are certain prestige studios that I think could do that. But like, I look at it as some of the more mainstream stuff. Like, could Call of Duty be $80 every year?
God,
and would that slow Call of Duty down? I don't think so. Could Pokemon do it?
Pokemon could probably do it.
Yeah. And Madden and, EA Football Club, formerly FIFA. Like, I think there are franchises that if you are the kind of person that buys 2 games a year and it's Call of Duty and Madden, I don't know that you care too much if those 2 games go up by $10.
No, you're probably
now, if you buy a lot of games like we do, it does add up.
Yeah, the people who play Call of Duty, that demographic will probably pay the money for it. Yeah, they want to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because, like, on one hand, I understand that games are expensive to make. They take a lot of people. They take a lot of time now. I don't know if it's just because games were $60 for so long that feels like the right price point to me. because we had 2 generations of that. We had like the 360 through the Xbox One, PS4 generation. Like, I don't know if it, because of that, I feel like jumping from 70 to 80 just feels really fast in comparison.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'll have to be more choosy when it comes to like, hey, there's a new game out. I'll buy it day one. It's $80. Like, there's, like you said, Ocarina of Time. That's an easy one for me. But if we've talked about, it's a good thing. I think Star Fox is 50. I think it's a good thing Splatoon is 50. Those are not as easy of a pickup day one at $80.
No,
I'm not buying Splatoon Raiders for $80. I'm not.
No. Oh my God, no. I think being dynamic with cost, there's no problem with that. It's fine. It just needs to make sense. There's nothing wrong with charging more money for it because cost of everything is going up. And the people making it need to be compensated, like the economy. I get it. Like, things are happening. People need to be paid. If it makes sense, it makes sense. That's fine. Yeah. I don't mind that, not to mention the fact that too, and something we didn't really touch on, which I'm not going in the other direction or anything, but like, we're also spending more time in some of these games than we ever have before. So it's like, not, if the cost of gaming goes up, I kind of get it. Sometimes we can spend, 500 hours in people who bought Animal Crossing, Pokopia, another newer example. GTA goes without saying, like, people are spending more time playing these games than they ever have historically. So like, the value that you're getting out of them also as time goes on. Yeah, I kind of understand the price going up because of how, you can live in some of these games, quite literally. Like, there's role play communities for these when online comes out, I know. Yeah. For GTA. But I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff that's based around this. And it's like, that just wasn't the same way back in the day. Like, when we're talking even like Animal Crossing on the GameCube, like, yes, of course people spent so much time in there, but like, there was less to do than there is now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So I mean, like,
what's the breaking point? Like if, let's say, Nintendo wanted to raise the price of the Switch 2 again, right?
Oh my God.
What is the price point that people would go, no, we are not buying this thing? And how close are we to it? I think is maybe even a more important question.
Honestly,
let's take yourself back to launch, right? Like,
I don't think, dude, I don't know. It's hard to even go beyond where it is now. Cause like, when we opened the show at the beginning of the week, we were talking about games that I've been playing and Adventures of Elliot. And I made a decision to switch where I was playing it and spent money to do it.
Yeah, again. That's true. Yeah.
To move off of the Switch 2. So
give Elliot $100.
So like, with that being said, and making a decision like that for the Switch 2, like, we're right on the line, to be honest with you. Because if we go much higher, we're treading into handheld PC territory, Yeah. And I hate it, but the Switch 2 is not OLED.
That's true.
The Switch 2 can't handle most games the way that the Legion even can, or even the Steam Deck in some scenarios, which is wild.
Sure.
It's hard, man. It's from $500. We don't have a lot of space left.
Do you think a $600 Switch 2 is dead in the water?
Yes, I think it is.
I kind of agree because, I mean, it doesn't. It's tough because, the stuff does keep steadily going up. And you mentioned the realities of why that is. But, I mean, people's pay is not going up at the same rate, right?
Fuck no.
So you're right. A $450 Switch 2 and a $600 Switch 2 are very different things for people.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're looking at the, I'm trying to see here. So the OLED Switch 1 is $400. What's the normal Switch 1 cost at right now?
$339.
$339. All right. So the OLED's, we'll just say 50 to make it easy. 60, whatever. But I mean, can you imagine spending $550, $560 on the OLED, on an OLED Switch 2?
I know. Like if that's kind of the thing is I think when the Switch 2 came out, we were caught up in it. And I said, if they did an OLED one of these, I would probably pick it up. Mm-hmm. Now thinking about what that would probably cost, because I don't think that thing's $550. I bet that's $100 more than the base Switch 2, which is going to be $500. So yeah, you're looking at $600. I can't justify even getting rid of my current one. I don't need that. Like,
I know, and I wanted the OLED. I wanted the Switch 2 to be OLED. I still wish the OLED. I wish it was just Switch 2 OLED screen. It just is. That would have been the way to go. But it sucks, man. I mean, and there's a lot of companies that are paying the price for this. I'm not trying to stray away from the conversation too much, but like, for instance, Nitro Deck, the Nitro Deck.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that, if you remember, on the show.
That's right. Yeah.
Back in what, Christmas time?
Yeah, it was probably late fall, early winter last year. Yeah.
I was supposed to get that in March, and then again in May.
Okay.
And then again in June, and now I don't think I'll be seeing it till August.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about massive corporations for the most part here, Valve, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. But you're right. If you're anything smaller than that, and you're trying to make accessories or consoles or anything, like this is crazy.
Yeah, it sucks, man, because we're just, again, I know I'm just dogging on the Switch 2, but like I still love the Switch 2.
Yep.
Contrary to everything I do. I love what Nintendo puts out. That's why we're here after all.
Yep.
And those companies are just trying to bring something else to gaming, something else to the experience, and it sucks to see those companies struggling so bad. Because like I've said before, they make such great stuff, man. Is Cracked Nitro? I don't remember what their company's called.
I think I think it's Cracked. Yeah.
Cracked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such great stuff. So it really does suck. Especially just, we've never seen so many companies like that doing stuff for gaming. Genki is another one. They do all these different types of docks for the Switch, which there was obviously a lot of controversy around, like the power output and stuff. But they were the company that they were like, hey, guess what? Take your dock apart and put it in here.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. But, I feel like we are on a bubble.
Yeah.
That will burst at any moment, and I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what kind of reset that will be for the industry. I don't know what companies survive it and which ones don't.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Xbox's struggles. Like, they're having enough hardship selling consoles. You're not going to sell any more at these price points, right?
Apparently Nintendo's researching and developing even more. So who knows what they're going to do now?
Yeah. I don't know if they're finding ways to print money. I don't know what they're looking for over there, but we will find out, I guess. We'll see what happens with the industry. But point is, video games are expensive, and they're getting more and more expensive, and that's a bummer. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this particular deep dive. You can subscribe to the show here on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere else where you are consuming Podcasting with Power. We appreciate that. You can leave us comments. Tell us what pain points there are for you when it comes to buying video games and video game hardware, accessories, all of that stuff. You can follow us on social media at Pod with Power. But until next time, I'm Zachary Davis and that's Jordan Carlson. Bye-bye.
Bye now.